Okay, let's start Eclipse. Let's collapse this thing. Collapse SRC. Right click Java package, new class. Enter the name of our program. There you go. Let us start with our main method. Let's go back to the algorithm of our solution. Under main, we have three parts: call open file, process data, and close files. So we're going to call it here. Let's do first open files. Okay, we're going to open now our sales data. But before we can open our sales data, we have to import the data itself. So how do we do that? You go on our problem. This is our problem. You're going to select the entire data and copy it. Control C. You go back on Eclipse and right click Java package and click new and click untitled text file and paste the data that we have just copied and save this one. So we enter it on this folder. We enter the file name salesdata.csv. CSV means comma separated values. So on the package explorer, you could see here that sales data is already included on our folder. Let's go back on quarter sales. And then we will have here an object input file would be equal to new, and then we call scanner. So instead of system.in, here we're going to have a different parameter that would be a file reader. So that would be new. And then we're going to enter here the name of our input file, which is sales data. How do we do that? We enclose everything by double quotation marks. We need to trace the location or the path where sales data is stored. So to do that, you go back and right click sales data and click properties and you copy the path. Select this one, Control C, copy. Okay, and inside our double quotes you paste the file and then you terminate it by a semicolon. So you would see here, this is the path where our sales data is stored. So you're going to insert two periods to tell the compiler that to look on the root, to start looking at the root directory going to this path. Again, you're going to notice that there are errors on our codes because we haven't declared yet input file. So to declare input file, because we want this to be accessible to any part of our program, on top we're going to declare it as a static object. So that would be static scanner input file. Scanner is not yet known. So if you're going to hover your cursor here, you would see it will list some suggestions on how to quick fix the error. So if you click on the import scanner Java util, you click it, and on top of our program you would see that the importation of the scanner class has been done. Still, we have some errors here. Okay, so for the case of file reader, you do the same. So to quick fix, you import the file reader. Click this one. So you would see here, file reader is already included on the importation. Okay, but still, you have error on our program, and you hover again on the error, you would say there would be another quick fix, because as you associate your program with file reader, you must declare a throw exceptions. So to avoid having this error, we just add throws declarations. You click this one, so you would see here that FileNotFound class, FileNotFoundException class was also included on the method itself. So it throws FileNotFoundException. You're just saying that please ignore FileNotFound if in case this file name is not existing. So you would see again that the package FileNotFound is already included on our importation. Let us continue. So this time we will have also our output file. So this time we're going to use another class which is called the PrintWriter. Inside the parameter of PrintWriter, you're going to insert the location on where you're going to write your file. We intend to place also our output file on the same folder that we have retrieved our sales data. You just copy at the very beginning and paste it here. Since the name of our output file will be sales report, we enter here sales report with the extension name txt. So you would see that there is some errors on our program because output file is not yet declared on top of our declaration. So we do the same, just like we did on the scanner class. This time we will have static PrintWriter, and the object name would be output file. PrintWriter is not yet known. You hover your cursor here and you import the PrintWriter. There you are. So we're done with our open files. Let's go back with our algorithm of solution. Then we do the closing of files. Okay. So we're done with this one. We're going to do this one. So how do you close your sales data and sales report? Let's go back and define our closing of files. So it's a standard procedure that if you open a file, regardless if it is an input file or output file, you need to close it. To do that, you just simply enter input file and its corresponding close method. Same with output file, and we're done. What remains is the process data. So how do we do process data? We declare the method. Okay, so there's some things wrong with our openFiles method, because you call openFile method here at main, and openFile throws FileNotFoundException, so main will also absorb the FileNotFoundException. So to correct this problem, you just hover on this one and add throws declaration. So it's almost the same on what we did on the openFiles method. Let's continue with our process data. So let's go back on the logic of our program, or the logic of the algorithm of the program. We start by calling printheader method on process data. Okay, so let us define our printheader method first. So what would be the composition of our printheader? We check our specification. So this label that we insert on our report would serve as the headers of our printheader. So how do we do that? Simply copy and paste it here. So we say system out. For now, we want to check first the output of our program on the console. When it's working properly, that's the time we're going to transfer it to a output file. We have a separator line here. This one, we use tabs in between. And we're done with our printheader method. We go back on our algorithm. Next on our task is we do this block. We start here. While input file has data, implement the procedure below. So we will have a loop here. Let us start. While input file has next. So we're checking our input file. Has next is a Boolean method that checks if there are still data available to be read by the program. If it is true, it will going to implement the block inside the while statement. So what's next on our list? You read data and assign it on a variable name first name. You read data and assign it on a variable name last name. So how do we do that? First, we're going to store all of the raw data inside a string. Our string raw data will contain the whole line. So inside our program, we will have here raw data. We're going to read it, input file, next line. So we haven't declared yet raw data. So on top of our declarations, because we want raw data to be accessible in all parts of our program, we're also going to declare it as static. Now that we have raw data, the whole line, we're going to split it to distinguish what is first name, last name, quarter 1 sales, quarter 2 sales, up to quarter 4 sales. To split it, we're going to declare an array that will allocate all of the data separately. So we call our array raw data specific. and we equate it with row data. Since row data is a string, we're going to implement the split with our delimiter, comma. So you can imagine now that the raw data will be broken and be placed separately on an array raw data specific. So we declare raw data on top, also static. So we'll have here static string, that's an array, one-dimensional, raw data specific. We declare its size, new string 6. Why 6? If you go back, you would say that we have 6 separations. First, we have first name, last name, quarter 1, up to quarter 4. So if you count everything, that is 6 separations. That is why our row data specific is declared as 6. So our row data specific now has already a content. So they are splitted by the use of the comma delimiter. As we continue implementing the logic of our algorithm, we're going to read data and assign it on a variable name, first name, and last name. So how do we do that? So we're done with splitting of the data. Now, let us read first name first. That would be row data. So we retrieve the first element of row data specific and assign it to first name. Also, we do that on our last name. So we access the second element of our row data specific, and that would be 1. Now, first name and last name get declared up. So we consider this also as static variable. We declare it here. The 2 should be declared also as string.